So I just wanted to come back on here because my friends are so fucking kick-ass. There are so many of you out there that share kick-ass information with me. And somebody from within the Postal Service got this out to us, all right? We'll just leave it at that. Keep anonymity involved. I've always promised lawyers, judges, doctors, people that come to me in confidence that I will never divulge their names. But I got a hold of this United States Postal Service Tort Claims Administration book, okay? Now, this is important because the post office, they're the baddest fucking cats on the planet, guys. These people are in charge of all wire communications. I don't care if you're doing telegraph, telegram, fucking sending money orders via the mail, whatever the fuck you're doing. The communication can be done on the internet. It can be done by way of wire, telegraph, Morse code. It doesn't fucking matter. The post office is absolutely in charge of it, okay? So, knowing that, how powerful the United States Postal Service really is. They're one of the largest policing forces in the world. And people have a hard time understanding that. Let me tell you something. Them postmasters, they ain't no fucking joke. Go in there and make a ruckus in a post office and find out what happens. It will not be good. It's federal. They have their own courts. They run their own ship. And they will absolutely, without fucking question, hold you accountable if you get fucking stupid. All right? So, United States Postal Service Tort Claims Administration Handbook. All right. Purpose. This revised edition of the handbook, PO 702, Tort Claims Administration Update. Now, how is it that the fucking post office has a tort claims administration? That's right. I just informed you. They have their own fucking court, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Updates. Just like the IRS. People think the IRS is part of the United States. It's not. It's its own single and separate fucking division. It has its own courts, has its own policies, has its own fucking rules, has its own fucking DUNS number, has its own insurance. It's its own fucking entity, all right? The policy and procedure for investigating, handling documentation, and processing claims pertaining to accident, both vehicular and non-vehicular, that could result in tort claims. This handbook replaces the June 1992 edition. Now watch. This is how cool being well connected with all of you is, because this came from the inside and I'm not supposed to have it. Availability. This handbook is available to Postal Service personnel only as follows. For the Material Distribution Center, office may order a handbook from the Material Distribution Center using touch-tone order entry only. You may be registered to use TTOE to register. Use the following information to order. Okay, that's just how you order it. And what's interesting on the price on this is it's $4.4360. Now, why is the post office saying that it's... Why not just say it's $4.43? Why do you have to go the extra mile and go it's $4.4360? Pretty interesting. Online, the handbook is also available online on the USPS intranet. It doesn't say internet, it says intranet. Anyway, the reason this was sent to me was because any claim brought into the post office pertaining to the post office, all right, one of their breaches of the contract with you, let's just say you sent something out registered, and they didn't keep track of chain of title. The postmaster failed to sign your 3877 and round stamp it and put the stamp on it and everything else. Then you have a cause of action, a claim. They're in breach of trust. Let's say you didn't get your 3811 green card return receipt signed like it's supposed to. That's a contract you're entering in with them. You have grounds for a claim, okay? And they handle everything internally. They have their own fucking courts. In this book, it tells you that the postmaster has the power, the authority. They've been granted with the authority. Any claim under $5,000 can be paid out immediately by the postmaster. under $5,000. The reason for it is so costly to do an investigation and have actually have a court proceeding that it is just far cheaper just to pay the $5,000. Claims, and you want to make it for $4,999.99, something like that. Claims excluded under the Federal Tort Claim Act. Certain claims are specifically excluded from consideration under the Federal Tort Claims Act. Payments should not be made at the local level for any claim arising out of the loss, miscarriage, or neglect transmission of letter or postal matter, or any claim of assault, battery, false imprisonment, false arrest, malicious prosecution, abuse of process, libel, slander, misrepresentation, deceit, or interference with contract rights. See Appendix A, Title 28 U.S. Code, Section 2680, for a complete list of the tort actions which cannot be brought against the Postal Service under the Federal Tort Claims Act. Other claims which may not be brought against the Postal Service as a tort claim include, and this is going to go through a list of those. Need for an investigation, investigating all accidents, contract vehicle accidents, notice to contractors, authority, claim for damages involving other government agencies. Do not file a claim for damage to a Postal Service vehicle with another federal agency. The Comptroller General of the United States has held that the appropriation available to government agencies may not be used to reimburse another government agency for property damages. Accident reporting requirements, Postal Service employees, supervisor, direct tort claim coordination, serious accidents, responsibilities. Install the head of the performance cluster management are responsible for reporting serious accidents and conducting supplemental investigations as directed by Section 822 of the ELM. Reference materials, Postal Service publication, Postal Service training course, investigation and reporting vehicle accidents, initial investigations. Where's it at? You know what? I bet I can do a Control F on this puppy. There's a cool guy that showed me how to do this. Let's see. Claims. Let's just do this. What if I do this? 5,000. You put a little peso symbol in there. Peso. Oops. Let's do peso 5. Bam. All right. 4441 or 444.1 claims of 5,000 or less. There we go. Page 67. Let's see what page 67 has to say. How do I get there? Click, click. Here it is, 444.1. Claims of 5,000 or less. District manager having the authority to settle personal injury and property damage claims and against the Postal Service for up to 5,000 and can select designee to utilize that authority. TCC generally are selected as the direct district manager's designee. Although intermediate management approval may be required in some districts before payment is made, where allowed, claims within the given authority of the designated TCC may be settled immediately without further authorization, providing A, it is determined that the damage claim was caused by the negligence or wrongful act of, or omission of the Postal Service employee while acting with the scope of employment, and B, the claim is not made for a matter of barred under paragraph 444.3. Determine if payment is appropriate. In asserting whether a settlement is appropriate, consider the following items. A valid claim has been presented within 2 years of the date of the accident. The property damage is that of a private person. Damage to personal vehicle being driven by a Postal Service employee or in the course of Postal Service work would not be paid based on potential tort liability. The claimant is the real party in interest. For example, the proper claimant for the damage to the vehicle is normally either the owner of the vehicle, regardless of who was driving the vehicle, or an insurance company which paid for the damages. If an insurance company has paid for the claimant's property damage, generally the claimant may recover only the monies not paid by insurance, normally the deductible. The claimant is willing to settle for $5,000 or less, or special authorization has been received to pay a specific greater amount for the from the law department. Evidence is contained in the file to document the damage upon which settlement is based. And F, a settlement is not reasonable if the claimant was the sole cause of the accident. Therefore, a claim should not be paid in any amount. If both the claimant and the Postal Service employee appear to have been equally negligent, a settlement for half of the claimant's damages may be reasonable unless the laws of the state where the accident occurred indicate otherwise, and payment of the claim based on shared fault. The adjudicator should also take into account the damages to the Postal Service vehicle and the account for the lost damages in the settlement at the same portion of the fault which was determined to be appropriate. Note, if a claim cannot be settled for $5,000 or less on the basis stated above, neither the district manager nor the TCC has authority to deny the claim. Claims over $5,000. Yeah, we don't want to go through that. Just talks about how they go through their own postal court, and you got to use the PS form 8230, authorizing for payment submitted by the TCC when requesting a check for payment. Other claims, TCC are not authorized to pay. Any claim arising out of the loss, miscarriage, or negligent transmission of a letter or postal matter. Any claim arising out of assault, battery, false imprisonment, false arrest, malicious prosecution, abuse of process, libel, slander, misrepresentation, deceit, or interference with contract rights. Any claim submitted by an agency of the United States. Any personal injury claim submitted by the Postal Service employee injured while in the scope of his employment refers such claims to the Injury Compensation Office for handling under the provisions of the Federal Employees Compensation Act. Yeah, so anyway, the things that get sent to you when you start reading the international mail manual and the domestic mail manual, and somebody who is good in their profession says, hey, he's studying my line of work. Guess what? I'm going to send him something cool. Read this, dude. So anyway, it led me to the tort claims. Forwarding tort claims for adjudication. And again, it's all in-house. It's all handled by the Postal Service. They have their own courts. Pretty freaking cool. Anyway, I love you guys. Just wanted to drop that in there. Maybe people will start to understand that all these corporations have their own means of, well, not all of them. The Postal Service, the IRS, they have their own courts. They have their own venue, ladies and gentlemen. And there's parts in here where it says, hey, if our corporate policy and we can't handle it, then we'll refer to the federal court, the one court that has superior jurisdiction, right? The funny thing is, all the courts operate through the United States Postal Service. Okay, and this was witnessed by me with firsthand knowledge. I was in Kearney, Nebraska. I have a good relationship with the postmaster down there, or the one that used to be a postmaster down there anyway. And we were shooting the shit, and she was getting me big fat rolls of Label 200s. And I mean, I would walk out of there like I'd left the grocery store. I'd literally leave out of there with a box of shit. We're talking about 3811s, PS 3877 booklets, and just all kinds of shit, Foreman Trust and everything like that. And the guy walked in with a briefcase, and he was in full uniform. He's a police officer for the sheriff's department. And she goes, oh man, him again? Fuck, I don't like this guy. And I was like, what? And I was like, why don't you like him? She's like, it's not that I don't like him. It's I don't like dealing with this shit. And I'm like, okay, well, you got my attention. What exactly is he bringing you? And she goes, well, every day that they're finished with court and there's warrants or whatever issued or foreclosures or whatever, they have to bring it to me and I have to authorize everything. I have to review it and sign off on it. And this is why? Because it's all about securities, people. And securities don't move without the authorization of the United States Postal Service. Period. Warrants, bonds, bail money, all that shit goes to the United States Postal Service. All right. All those securities are negotiated through the USPS. And I learned that with firsthand knowledge right from the horse's fucking mouth. He came with a briefcase It was all about business. He walked right into the fucking side door, went right on back like he knew exactly where he was going because he'd been there probably 1,000 times before. And she was sitting there going, man, I hate this guy. And it wasn't that she hates this guy. She just hates what she has to do with him because she's actually seeing all these foreclosures. She's actually the one signing off on all this shit. She's looking at all these arrest warrants and signing off on them, authorizing them. Remember, when Japan bombed Pearl Harbor, they went out of their fucking way. They went out of their way to ensure they bombed a United States post office. Now you have to ask yourself why they did that. And the answer to that is when they bombed the United States post office, it immediately became an international declaration of war. That means they didn't need Congress. They didn't need the Senate. They didn't even really need the fucking president at that point to make a decision. The United States post office had been bombed. That was an international declaration of war. The post office can immediately cause the Navy to go into action. All right? Anyway, with that said, that's my little tutorial on how badass your United States Postal Services is. And they are the baddest motherfucking cats on the planet. And I shit you not. They have their own police force. Don't believe me? Ask any postmaster, hey, you got your own police force? And they'll tell you, yeah, they do. And they carry guns, and they have drug dogs and drug pigs and fucking bomb equipment and everything else under the sun you could fucking imagine. Okay? And they also have the Secret Service at their beck and fucking call as well for any poisons or anything else that would be sent through the mail. So if you're sending things through the mail like a dumbass and they ask you, is there anything illegal in this package? Is there anything that's potentially hazardous and all that? And you lie and your package ends up leaking, something out that contaminates the post office or causes harm to one of their employees. Just know this. You will be prosecuted to the fullest fucking extent of the law because they do not play games at the post office. They don't play games. All right. I love you guys. We'll talk to you later.